What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla stock, what you should be watching for during the pre-market. I'm going to talk about some very important levels to watch for during the trading day and what data is going to be dropping today and how it may affect the market moving forward. Before I break anything down with all this information, though, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $100 in your guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends in just 7 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Looking at Tesla in the market, is selling off during the pre-market right now after we saw a lot of hawkish Fed speakers. And as a result, the market's starting to show more signs of weakness as we approach the trading day. However, the pre-market does not guarantee anything, and we have lots of data dropping later on that could change the course of this stock market. Now, to start us off, we had many Fed speakers. We had Bullard speaking, we had Bostic speaking, the Hawks came in. They talked about how inflation is too hot. They also said that the banking sector is still quite strong in their eyes, but there could be pain coming. They also mentioned that the Fed may have to raise rates again, and Bullard loves to be very hawkish, and as a result, the market is selling off quite decently so far. Now, as the market is selling off, I want you guys to remember that this does not guarantee anything just yet. It does favor the bears, but it's not a guarantee because you have to remember that at 6:45 a.m. Pacific time or 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, right? 15 minutes after the market opens, you have to be ready for this. The market's going to make a big reaction to the PMI report. All right. So the data is coming out for the S&P global manufacturing data 15 minutes after the market opens at 9:45 a.m. You have global services PMI, global composite PMI. All this data is going to affect the markets. The market could reverse if we get a decent report. If not, the market could get an even bigger rug pull. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens as the market reacts to this. This could cause the market to reverse throughout the majority of the day, but we just have to be safe and just watch for it, in my opinion, before making any big moves. Now, some news has come out that futures have fallen and they're on track for a losing week. Once again, that is very possible, and that is not the best of signs for now. But I'm still going to be patient once we get the reaction from the PMI report. The market could be taking a breather. That's a possibility. And there was some news about Tesla that came out about the Model 3, including like RGB lights and just more features about it. It's not expected to come out until, I believe, the second half of 2023. But once again, the Model 3 refresh is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to help Tesla get a lot more sales. Besides that, I didn't see anything new in the news for Tesla. That's why it's not really making a massive move. It's only down like 1% after Bullard was speaking. But if anything, it looks very interesting. We're going to be seeing some, upgraded cameras and a bunch of other upgraded features for the new model, and I'm very excited for it. But until then, let's talk about Tesla now and what the charts are telling us. So I told you guys both the bull and bear cases yesterday, and I was hoping that the bull case would play out. Excuse me. I was really hoping for that, but so far it's not really showing just yet. But we'll have to wait and see if we get any confirmation of it. Now the bears have the edge. There's a possible head and shoulders on Tesla so far, but also remember that we are gapping down, and there's a possibility for a reversal later on. There's also a bullish divergence developing on SPY right now, which is a possibility for this thing to try to reverse. Now, if it gets a really big bounce and starts pushing, that would confirm this bullish divergence. If not, it could take time for that to happen, maybe until like next week. So we just have to wait and see. And I'm going to break down the levels now to really look out for. So on Tesla, okay, if you wanted to turn bullish, it had to break and hold 265. It came just short yesterday, and right now it is below it. So it didn't give us the confirmation of it to turn bullish. I was hoping that that would happen yesterday, and I still think it's a possibility, but it all depends on how we react to PMI. When it comes to the data, you're going to be looking at Tesla at these particular levels. When the data comes out, Tesla is currently trying to hold support around 260. If Tesla breaks below 260, you're going to be watching the 257 range as support. And once again, if that fails us, it's going to get into the mid 250s, basically 255.7, 254.25, around that area. And if that breaks down, then we have 252 and potentially 250 to come as support. And then, if that fails us, we have some quite a bit of like order blocks around that like 248 to 247 level below that. I think it's a little unlikely Tesla's going to sink that hard, but we're always going to be prepared just to be safe because PMI could be unpredictable. Now, if PMI causes the market to reverse and Tesla starts pumping again, what is good for the bulls is the fact that Tesla's still holding above 260. 262.5 is going to have some resistance. If it breaks that, we have this gap up here. If it breaks above that level, it's likely going to make its way up to this pre-market gap to about 265 again. And if Tesla manages to hold above 265 and start pushing, there is potential for this thing to continue to squeeze and even push up even harder. It's a possibility, but it's looking less likely right now given the current setup. I mean, on the 1 hour time frame, it's looking a little bit weak, but this could always change depending on the data. So please be open-minded. I do not know exactly how this is going to go. I'm hoping Tesla gets a balance. I think it's very possible. But just to be safe, guys, you have to remember that there is technically a head and shoulders on Tesla that is valid for now. It has not been invalidated, and we have to wait and see if Tesla could try to invalidate this with a push to the upside above 265. And if it does break 265, you're going to be watching this thing play out at 267.5 and potentially 270. If it breaks above 270, that's going to be our very bullish signal, because then we have this imbalance up at 275, and it could push much higher if it holds above 270. But for now, it came short. It's not really holding 265, so we'll just have to wait and see if that happens during the trading day. So please be ready for the big move at 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, or 15 minutes after the market opens. Tesla's going to have a big reaction, so is SPY and many others. So just be ready, and we will see how this goes. For SPY, this thing is looking not the best. It actually came down to 432.97. It's continuing to look quite bearish. It is below the 200 EMA, so it has some bearish signals on it. But it has this giant gap all the way up at 436. There's another gap, I think, close to like 437.2, which is where during the the gaps from without the extended hours, basically. So if you want to turn bullish, you need to see this thing hold above the 200 EMA, above 433. If it breaks that, watch 434. Then we have 435, 435.79. If it breaks above 435, basically, it's going to most likely fill this gap and try to make its way up to 436.6 around there. If it gets above the 436.65 area and it gets above 437, it has the potential to push all the way up to 438 and potentially 440, right? So there is potential for a reversal, but it's not really looking like it so far. So we're just going to be patient and see what happens with all of this data that's dropping. And we're going to see if the market could reverse. Now, if the market fails to get any sort of reversal, if the market does not get the balance we're hoping for, if it does not end up breaking above like 434, 435, the 436 zones of resistance, 435.79, which is where the 50 is, or even 437. If it continues to slide and it gets a rug pull because of PMI, then hey, sometimes predictions can't come true. And I always prepared you guys for the bear and bull cases just to be safe. You're going to be watching 432 as support, as the next major support zone. And if that fails, it's going to come all the way down to 430, then potentially 429. But I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. I still have some hope that the market could reverse. We have these gaps above, and the PMI could cause bullish developments. There's also a bullish divergence developing on SPY right here, which tells me there's a possibility. Excuse me, sorry guys. There's a possibility that this thing may try to get a reversal, but there just is not confirmation of it playing out. So you should never assume it's going to play out until it actually starts. But so far, it's not happening. So there's a possibility it may reverse off this, but not a guarantee. So we have to wait and see if we get confirmation of that move. What would turn me more bullish is if we could break above and hold 435. If that happens, then we have more potential to push up quite nicely. But for now, let's just be patient and see what happens. Last but not least, for the triple Q, you're going to be watching resistance at 362. It's currently at about 362.3. If it manages to hold above 362, it has the potential to fly up to 363, the entire 363 zone. Break above that, then we have some resistance at 364.75. If it gets above 364.75 and manages to hold that, it has the potential to push all the way up into the 366s. Now, if it pushes up that hard, right, if it manages to break above that, there's going to be potential for 368 and 370. Your confirmation of the bullish move will be a break above 364.7 around there. If it manages to break and hold that level, it's going to likely push all the way up to the 366s. So please watch that very carefully on the triple Q. Now, if the triple Q breaks down, you're going to be watching support at 361.37, 360.98, which is where the 200 EMA happens to be on the hourly, followed by 360. So watch all those levels very carefully. After that, we have 359 and then 357.5 as supports. So we're kind of in the middle right now on the triple Q. It's still holding up above 360, which is decent, but If we do see Tesla and many other tickers start to sell off, then that could slow this down. So, am I guaranteeing the market will move in any direction? I can't guarantee anything because, first off, I'm not a fortune teller. And secondly, we don't know what PMI is going to be. PMI could pump this market unexpectedly, or it could cause the complete opposite. Remember, Tesla is gapping down, so there's going to be a gap that's forming, and it does love to fill those gaps intraday. But we'll just have to wait and see on the PMI report. I am hoping Tesla tries to bounce. I really want to see that happen, but we will have to be patient and see if Tesla could do it. Don't forget, once again, there's a head and shoulders possibility on Tesla. This is a possibility this could play out if we fail to break and hold above 265. But if we do manage to do so, right, intraday after PMI comes out, if things do improve, there is a chance Tesla could invalidate this head and shoulders and continue to push. You want to see this thing hold 365 and 270, okay? If it breaks 270, has a lot of potential to push up a lot higher. So we'll wait and see. Until then, get ready for PMI. Do what you have to do, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video very soon intraday. Thank you. Tesla to the moon because the long term is very bright, and peace out.